Hello, my name is Diana Vargas and I'm from Timeout Education. And today we're with Hayward. He's going to tell us a little bit about a high school program that they have in Newfoundland. So please, Hayward, tell us about the program that you guys offer.
Wonderful. Thank you for this opportunity. My name is Hayward. I'm with Academic Island, and we are a relatively small international education program in Newfoundland, Canada. The fact that we're small makes us able to be able to attend to the needs of students. We've been accepting international students into schools in Newfoundland for a number of years now, and we're very excited to be able to open ourselves to Mexico and some of the different places in Mexico, and particularly working with Timeout Education.
And what would you say is one of the reasons why people should visit Newfoundland? Because I see that in the pictures that you have icebergs and it looks like a very nice city.
Well, yes, Newfoundland, of course, is a relatively small and large in geography, small in the population compared to Mexico. We have a very relaxed, I guess, somewhat considered or slow pace of life. Most of the places that there are in Newfoundland are they're not large, and our schools are not large. One of the things about Newfoundland is that everyone knows everyone. Mm-hmm. And if you're in school, you'll be in, classes that are small enough to get to know most of the people in your class. In fact, you'll get to know most of the people in your school. Newfoundland is a very safe place. In terms of Canada and North America, Newfoundland is probably the safest place in North America. We have a very, very low crime rate. And I think that's because people are generally very warm, very caring, very hospitable. Newfoundland people are world famous for being kind and caring and live in communities that are, as I said, safe, secure, and very welcoming. Newfoundland has a clean, clear, pristine environment, very little of no pollution. We have, things like icebergs appearing every May, June along our coastline that are massive and attractive. We also have, some very large national parks, untouched land that's not been destroyed by people or by pollution. Newfoundland has a great outdoors. We have much natural beauty. People can explore, can hike, can walk, can use, all-terrain vehicles. We have wintertime skiing, of course. And of course, in the summer, we have all of the activities that one would want to engage in at that time.
That sounds very good, very interesting, especially for us as parents, because when we set our kids, we're worried about where are they going to go, where are they going to be, if it's too small, if it's like a huge city. And that's part of you mentioned that it's a small, that is peaceful, that the amount of students that they don't have is not large. That's also a big important. And how do you select the families that the students go with? Because that's also one of our main concerns whenever we send our kids. Okay, what about the families and how is it going to be?
Absolutely, and homestay, of course, all of our students stay in with another family as a part of a homestay program. And I like to think that we have a very good, actually an excellent homestay program. We find that our families come to us and want to be homestay parents because they want to engage with people from another country, from another culture. We find that these parents also have their own children, and that they are kind families, they're caring families, they're welcoming families. All of our homestay families work with a homestay coordinator. And our homestay coordinators, of course, are the people along with us who make sure that that the homes and all the conditions that we need for a family to accept another student in with them are met. The homestay coordinators also work very closely with the students when they arrive, and of course, meet them actually before they arrive. And they also work very closely with the families. Our homestay coordinators, the people that we have doing that work for us, are retired teachers, are nurses, and these are people who have an understanding of young adults, have an understanding of what it takes to be a 15, 16, 17-year-old and adjust to a new school, adjust to a new family, adjust to a new place to live. All of our homestay families are screened, they're interviewed, the homes are inspected, they have to have references, they are screened through our local police agencies to make sure that the families who present themselves to us and want to be homestay families and a part of our program meet the standard that we have set to be a homestay parent.
Okay, all right. And what would you say that it's like the perfect age to send your kids to study?
Well, we have students who come from very young ages, like kindergarten, grade 4, grade 5. But I suppose ideally, most we find if you're from grade 7 to grade 12, from 12 to 17, that age group, I think have the most success. Very young children, unless they have relatives, it becomes a little more difficult.
Yeah, or like the family needs to travel with them, no, or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And like this program, you guys have been here for like a long time, but what would you say is the most gratifying, satisfying experience that the students have shared with you? They say like, hey, you know what? I came here with one expectation and it turns out that it was way much better than this.
And I think what we have found is that students, have come from some larger places in Mexico. They've come here, they've gone into a school and a family, and they've experienced things that they had never thought about. For example, a lot of our families have what we call cottages or cabins in the woods, and they use a quad or an all-terrain vehicle. Is very common as a part of our culture and way of life. This year, for example, we had a student who came from Mexico and participated in a moose hunt. And now in Newfoundland, it's very common for families and, to get a license to be able to harvest a moose in the wilderness. And this year we had a student from Mexico who came and participated with the family and actually got a moose and, went through the process of looking for it, finding it, shooting it, preparing it, bringing it home, and all of that. And that student is still amazed by that experience. Yeah. We've had students who've gone, fishing for cod. We've had students who've been out viewing icebergs, so there are many experiences that people will get in this country and in this part of the country that you probably won't get in Mexico. The freedom, the ability to our nature is not privately owned. Everything is a wilderness that's there for everyone to participate in.
Thank you. And about the schools, what can you tell us about the schools? Like, what is the most, like the things that you would highlight about the schools in Newfoundland?
Okay. Well, all the schools in Newfoundland are all public schools. So they're government-owned schools. And Academic Island has a memorandum of understanding with the schools so that we're able to place students in any school in Newfoundland. Our schools have a strong focus on academics. There's a strong focus on learning. our schools very much appreciate the diversity that international students bring to the schools, because as you can appreciate, Newfoundland is very much a white-driven society, and it's only in recent years that the diversity of our schools have been changing, and new languages appear in our schools now through the international education students coming. So our schools very much appreciate being able to interact with students from another country. In our schools, music is very, very important. All of our schools would have music, bands, choirs, and incidental music programs that would happen in the evening or after school. Drama, likewise, is very popular in our schools. Sports is again very, very important to all of our students, and we find very important to many students who are coming to study in our province. So we offer all of the sports, and they range from the varsity sports, which would be highly competitive, to what we call school sports, which would be for participation, because many students want to play at a high level, whereas other people just want to play sports from a recreational perspective. And of course, there are many activities both within the school and within the community. And so many of these, again, are sports, but they're outside of the school. Many of them are social, again, outside of the school. But we find that in many of our communities, there's a combination of activities that are available both in school and outside of school, because some people may want to do competitive dance that may not be available in the school, but is available within the community. So our schools do offer academics first, but beyond that, then there's a whole range of activities that the students can participate in. And we also find that because our schools are smaller, there's much greater possibility for the international students to participate in the various activities. Sometimes in much larger schools, very limited access to some of the sports and activities. But where our schools are much smaller, then there's great uptake for international students to participate in many of the activities.
Well, thank you very much, Hayward. I think that you have answered pretty much all our questions, and we're gonna put you the information where they can contact us and they can get all the quotes for the parents to know, like, how much it's gonna be and when the programs they need to start. No. Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, yes, any parent that reaches out to you and would like more information, I think I've sent you, the information on the costs and all of that. If there's questions that we haven't answered through this, if a parent or student contacts you, please reach out to me and I'll provide any answers, or even meet with parents if they want, or students via, Zoom, to talk about our program, because I'm excited about our program. I'm excited that we're growing, but I'm excited that we're growing organically, and that our smaller numbers mean that we can provide the kind of support that young people need when they move from one culture to another, from one school to another, from one country to another. So I'd be very happy to, just as we have a student from you this year who I think is doing extremely well, we'd like to think that there's possibility for more working together and bringing more students to our program.
Yes, definitely. Well, thank you very much.
And thank you very much, and feel free to reach out to me anytime.
Thanks.